It adds a little of the past and a little of the future to the present by visualizing and interpreting any movement. But then what is the duration of the present? When we observe a movement, we can remember what it was like a tenth of a second ago, which is already part of its past. We can also remember how it was a hundredth of a second ago, which is also part of its past. We can also remember how it happened a millisecond ago, which is also in the past. Can we remember what it was like a millionth of a second ago that is also in the past? Probably yes. How far can we go with this subdivision? The movements take place continuously because the existence of movements through space is continuous. When I think of myself considering that I am at rest, my existence does not occur in fits, jolts, or abrupt oscillations. We feel always present in a continuous way, so we are not discontinuous when we are at rest. We are not like blinkers in our stocks. This fact could suggest that there is no limit to subdividing the movements, leaving them all in the past, establishing a time duration of zero for the present. However, an equal measure of time zero has no meaning as a physical quantity because it means nothing to an observer. Physical quantities only come into existence for observers from a certain minimum threshold, below which it simply makes no sense to speak of physical quantities. Below the Planck time measure, which is a very small time measure, it no longer makes sense to speak in the concept of time, even though this measure is still greater than zero. But what then is the duration of the present? If we admit that the duration of the present is equal to zero, we are seeing the present as the universe sees the present. The universe does not recognize the concept of time. For the universe, everything is always at rest, because all movement is always equivalent to perfect rest due to the complete lack of an absolute reference in the universe to define movements due to the continuity of space. This view of the duration of the present is not wrong. It is a possible view on the duration of the present. After all, we can be in the present in a situation of complete rest, where we do not perceive any movement occurring and we perceive our existence always continuous and at rest. Although this view of the duration of the present, of duration equal to zero, always reminds us of the quarrelsome to the state of rest when we think about it. Now comes the impressive fact. Even if we admit that the present is of duration equal to zero, even if we admit that such duration automatically sends us to the situation of rest, the inexistence in the universe of an absolute reference for the rest by the continuity of space makes the movements exist even when the present has zero duration for the observer. The continuity of empty space allows the existence of movements even when time does not seem to pass. There is not none paradox in that. A photon traveling at the speed of light is always stationary in time for any observer, and yet it travels enormous distances through space, which is only allowed by the continuity of empty space. Due to the continuity of empty space, it is perfectly possible and it is not wrong in physics to admit that the present always has duration equals zero in time. Because time is a movement, because time is a quantity, because we divide this quantity into past, present, and future, we get the feeling that if the duration of the present is equal to zero, we lose all movement, we lose the notion of time. In the past are the events that can no longer be changed, that cannot be modified, that can no longer be busy. The past is rest and the present is the presence of movements. In the future are the events that have not yet happened, that have not yet occurred, that have not yet taken place or performed. Thanks for watching, subscribe to my channel and give your like if you enjoy it.